Call the meeting to order. Everyone rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please note, as a courtesy to members of the audience, the Board of Education, please silence your cell phones. Public will only be able to speak during public comment if signed up. I've got a few forms. Do we have anybody else? Any others? All right, sounds good. Hi, John. Good to see you coming here. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to say hi.
That's
John.
fine, yeah.
Roll call, please.
John, here. Wonder Jim.
Here.
Fine.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine.
Here.
Palmer. Here. DeHaan.
Here.
You. And Hybor.
Here. All right, first on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, consent action agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3 on the docket, recognition of board member Kim Klein.
Sure. So tonight is Kim's last board meeting, and just wanted to say a few words about her. It's been 6 years. You've gone from, you started out as a trustee, ended up being a board president during one of the most challenging times, I think, in the history of man, I might say, and just have been phenomenal. Just been an exceptional board member, exceptional team player, somebody who really has kids' hearts at mind. You're always kid focused, and I just appreciate that about you. Been a sounding board when you're as a board president, and beyond, a sounding board for me at times, a person that, when things are tough and you're trying to make some big decisions or challenging decisions. I think a lot during COVID, you always seem to be the one that would reach out and say, hey, just want to know, I'm thinking about you, we're in your corner, things like that. You've just been a magnificent board member, and more importantly, an exceptional person. So we're going to miss you terribly, and just want to thank you for everything you've done, Kim. You've been, job well done, I can say that.
Thank you.
So. As a small token of appreciation, we have a few things for you here. Grab that, thank you. Have a Grandville coat, of course.
Of course, always gonna have that, no matter where you're at.
Thank you.
Certificate of recognition, and then these, and
Oh,
I'll,
those are beautiful. I'll set this down.
So this certificate of recognition, the Board of Education of Grandville Public Schools hereby expresses their endearing gratitude to Kim Klein for her exemplary dedication and commitment to Grandville community and the Board of Education, or Grandville Board of Education. Thank you, Kim. There you go.
I just want to say thank you. This has been a highlight of my life. There's things that I'll put in the top categories, being a wife, being a mother, being a teacher, but being a board member has been a dream, serving my community, something that I've had interest in since I could talk. My family would tell you that. So having that come to fruition was not just an act for me, it was our community, and believing in that, and support from so many people from all different backgrounds. And I recognize that. That was really a community, understanding and seeing the value of having someone who's vested in education be a part of this process. And my family, thanks to Doug back there, who's been along for this entire ride. I really appreciate that. To my 6 sons who are all over the place this evening doing their things, and to everybody at this table. Everyone has brought something for me to think about, to learn from, to grow from, and I've grown so much through this process. The good times, the challenging times, the hard questions, the moments to reflect, the things to do differently. I appreciate every moment of it. I don't regret any of it, even the hardest of moments. And you're right, it was some of the moments that were most challenging to man, but it made me think about myself and think about my community and think about other people differently, and know that everybody in this room and everyone beyond this room has something of value to bring to our community, to our schools. Doesn't matter what opinions you have, what political parties you have. I'm just so blessed to represent all of them in this role. And I encourage this group to also hold dear to those things, that we are nonpartisan, that we represent all views of our community. And despite having hard set views of our own personally, that we can come here and we can know what's best, what our community has said they want through that strategic plan, and that we need to represent what we expect out of our students. And what we have here as a board is unfortunately a rarity among boards in the nation and in the state. We have a great cooperative relationship. We are a team of we, not a team of me, and I love that about this place. We keep growing and learning and asking questions and having hard conversations. You know, there's been times when you've been like, what is going on? What's on your mind? And we've had to dive through those moments. This is what I'm thinking about. We've come to great conclusions together and done things for students. We've seen new buildings open in the past 6 years. We've gone through difficult times. We've made decisions that no other district in the area made. And we've come out on top for those hard decisions and thinking through some challenging moments about whether to follow the pack or whether to lead the pack. And I'm really proud of that. That was a collective effort, and just appreciate all of you for guiding me along the way. You've meant a lot to me.
Wow.
Thank you. All right. Want to say anything?
Later.
It's not waterproof, so be careful.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything. Yeah, it was, like you said, it was a challenging 6 years at times, right? So, and you led us with grace and strength, so appreciate that,
Thank you.
for sure.
I will say one thing. I have known Kim probably as long as we've lived here because of swim. And when I first met her, she's so quiet. It's like, oh, she's so quiet. Oh, isn't she sweet? And you learn that quiet means she's listening.
Yeah.
And she is taking in everything. And she's truly a balanced person. She is. I've come to her for a lot of things. And she's just very wise. We are very lucky to have had her for the last 6 years. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank you, Kim. I've been on this board a long time, and to see someone, you know, kind of step into the role and be a leader right away, and I really appreciated that because we were needing a leader. And I learned a lot myself from you, and you
Same.
protected me in certain ways, and I appreciate that as well. We're going to miss you, but I know you've got great things ahead, and you can always come back to another meeting.
You'll see me again.
Comment, you got 5 minutes.
I only get 5 minutes
Thanks for all you've done. And
My husband wants to know if he can put that limit on as well. Thank you, Barb.
Yeah.
Very kind.
You know, you welcomed me as a new board member, and I've learned some things from you, so I appreciate that. Even though we've had some differences here and there,
Yeah.
I do respect and appreciate you, so thank you.
Same. Learn a lot from everybody.
I appreciate, I mean, I came on during the beginning of COVID, or, I don't know, beginning or middle of it, whatever,
Yeah.
but the way Grandville, I would say, led I appreciated the way Grandville led the area and the districts between Roger and the people that were on the board before me, and I think you were a big part of that, and I really appreciated that.
Thank you. We've had some great conversations, too. I always appreciate this.
Yep.
I've appreciated your perspective.
Same.
I would say one of my roles on this board is to create discussion, to push the boundaries, to make sure that we debate as hard and as thoroughly as possible. So I've enjoyed it, at times, adversarial discussion. So thanks
Banter.
for that.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. And I also want to say I appreciate how much we are united in so many topics, despite that banter. You know, you and I both have a very strong passion for students with special needs. And that's always been something that I've greatly appreciated about being able to be open on this board and talk about how it affects my family, but also how we have the privilege of understanding the system and how we can better it for others. And I know that's a big part of what you do.
Well, thank you. And good luck.
Thank you.
All right. On to number 4, discussions reports. You have
Sure. So just thought it would be good, being the last board meeting of the year, to just look back a little bit at this year thus far and to look ahead. So some things wanted to point out as we look back. And boy, a lot of things happen. I have to say, a lot of things happen, and it's very easy to take things for granted. But when you hear some of these things, as I was writing them out, I was like, wow, there's a lot happening. And I know I missed things. I know I did. But I tried to point out some highlights of the year thus far. So listen to some of these things. Partnered with the Weller Foundation to develop a plan for a Weller Auto Tech building attached to our new bus garage. I mean, we ended up getting $1 million out of that to be able to make that happen in that partnership with somebody in our community, so very special. We opened Oakstown Intermediate for 5th and 6th graders, focus of high engagement, high impact learning strategies, connections to area businesses through activities such as the Amazing Shake. I mean, there is nobody in our area doing that. And everybody who comes in contact with it, whether it is to come view in person, to they see it on television or whatever, they just go, that is so amazing. I can't believe, you guys are doing that. That's just incredible. So again, that's another thing. Something that I think we can very easily take for granted, because it's been happening now for a little while, Victory Day. Mm-hmm. Think of Victory Day, think of the smiles, think of the kids that are impacted. And I don't mean just our awesome students with disabilities, but all of our kids involved with that, all of our adults involved, the people who witnessed that. It's just an amazing event that, again, not too many people are doing, but really is one of those. I always leave with a big smile on my face, because it always reminds me of what we're doing, and we're doing things for the right reasons. Our athletic teams shined, very successful seasons. We even had a state championship in water polo recently, which was a great feat, but just a lot of success both on and off the playing fields and courts and so on. Just we have amazing student athletes who do amazing things, and not just by performance, but what they do in our classrooms. Speaking of amazing performances, I mean, our arts, our band, our choir, our orchestra, I mean, you name it, our play performances have just been outstanding. And again, every time I watch one of those, I just think, wow. I mean, the opportunity that I had to sing with our choir, I was just amazed by the talent that was around me. It's just incredible. So. And then our robotics team, the RoboDogs, qualified for the national championships in the drone competition recently. And that's one of their newer things. As you know, we have an amazing competition center that this community has blessed us with. And boy, are they rising to the occasion. I mean, when Doug, we'd have drones at football games and so on, and everyone's like, oh, that's cool. And, you take pictures and all that. But to see what our kids do to build drones, to program everything, and to have races, and the things they make them do are just off the charts. And I remember when he was explaining to me in that robotics center the first time, yeah, we're going to race these things, and this is going to happen. And I'm thinking, this guy's crazy. How is that going to happen? And you go and watch that, and watch the crowds. And it's just, again, another amazing thing that is taking place. MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support, were a gold award as a top district in Michigan for highly effective support systems for our students. And again, having somebody like Jason Glarum championing that, and having just sitting in and listening to the discussions that take place centered around the data we have are just amazing, and the support systems that are in place. We were recently ranked the #1 school district in Kent County for places to teach. And think about that. That means when you look at trying to keep your teachers, attract teachers, and you want them feeling supported, you want them feeling like a team, to get something like that being named the top school in the area for that is just incredible. It tells you a lot about the culture that our buildings, our district, our teachers create. And when they do that, guess what? Achievement always gets better when that happens. So very excited about that. Central Elementary was ranked the #2 elementary in the entire state for what's called standout schools. Standout schools are those that make a difference, not only beating the odds when you look at their demographics, you look at their, the funding, and you look at connections to community. They're a school that just stands out because of that. So that was a great honor. Matter of fact, we are meeting with a group of people, we being me, Heather, Heather from Central, and Mr. Gelmy are meeting with a group just to talk about that story of Central Elementary, because it goes way back, as we know. Pretty amazing place. We have extension of preschool programs at our Grandville Early Learning Center. We have 2 new classrooms that opened this year, and boy, I think we could fill, if we had 10 more, we could fill them. But we have really increased enrollment and provided opportunities for our families from a financial perspective to be able to be a part of quality programs and maybe not pay as much as they used to. So that's been very exciting. U.S. News and World Report, every Grandville school on the list of top schools, which that has never happened as far as I'm aware of, which just tells you that people rise to the occasion when people collaborate, when it's not about my school or your school, but it's about us collectively. It's amazing what can happen. So that, again, very exciting. And last week we had Adam Langto named the Michigan Principal of the Year, Secondary Principal of the Year, which was very exciting to be a part of. Adam is very deserving. He is a very humble individual, very hardworking individual, has high expectations, and just always, again, is focused on kids. So I just appreciate him so much. And as you know, recently Mrs. Anna Aliman Putman was named Superintendent of South Haven Public Schools, which is another successful thing, because I think when you look at leaders that you have in your district and the ability as a collaborative whole to cultivate leadership, she has had, everything from the East Elementary principal to the student excellence and well-being position. She has learned a great deal, and she will do a nice job in South Haven. So a lot happening thus far, and like I said, you could keep going ahead and just go, yeah, that was great, yeah, that was super, yeah, that's done again, yeah, and so on. But really to think about all those things, and that's just a small, I know I missed things, that's just a small amount of the great things that happened between the time school started and now. So just very, very fortunate, and says a lot about our district and our community. Looking ahead, we're going to continue to focus on high impact, high engagement learning strategies. That was one of our areas this year where, as a collective whole, we said, we're going to really look at our classroom environments, look at how to engage students even more, take that to a whole different level. Continue the construction of the transportation department complex. If you haven't been by there lately, it's a mess. And kudos to our bus drivers and our transportation department as a whole, because they never complain about that. They know it's going to be a great facility when it's finished, but I just don't hear a lot of the complaints about, we have to use this for now and so on. They just step up and just are wonderful individuals. So just really appreciate that group as well. And that'll continue to be developed. This spring, we've had a student survey we've done every other year. This spring, there is a student, a parent, and a staff survey with the same questions that we've been asking our kids. And so we'll be able to triangulate that data and see what the perception of the different groups is. When you look at those, it'll tell us a lot there as well regarding the school experience. We're going to continue to, Heather will like this one, we're going to continue to focus on budget, evaluation of programs, keeping what is working, and quite honestly, at times you need to abandon what is not. When you evaluate programs and you see, something's not moving the needle, there has to be something else that might. So we're going to continue to look at all of our programming, evaluate those programs, and look at what's truly moving the needle. Looking forward to a great 2025, second half of the school year. Just a reminder, our organizational meeting will take place on January 6th at 6:30, followed by our regular meeting at 7. And if you have any questions about that, I know we only do it once a year, but if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. Other than that, just looking forward to 2025, and Kim, we're going to miss you dearly.
Miss you all too much. Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Very good. We'll move into public comment. We've got 3 cards here. Just as a reminder, you will have 5 minutes, and Mr. DeHaan will give you a warning at 1 minute left, as soon as he gets his timer up. All right, fantastic. All right, first up, we have Beth Legate.
I just wanted to offer you I know this is on behalf of administration and everybody, but on behalf of us parents, students, and our community, because if we don't have a strong school board and school system, we don't have a strong community. So I just want to thank you for your serving with wisdom, curiosity, grace, strength, humility, and kindness. Thank you so much. So.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Beth. Donna Johnson.
Also, congratulations.
Thanks.
I feel funny when I have my back to people, so I have to acknowledge you. First of all, good evening, and thank you in advance for considering my thoughts and concerns that I'm going to share tonight. I also appreciate the work that this board does for all the schools and to make sure that our kids have the freedom to learn and thrive in quality learning environments. I've had the opportunity to be in all the buildings, volunteer work at Century Park. I also did Acadience testing for the district, so got into some buildings. I currently have a high school or a freshman grandson and also a grandson in Oakstown. So I think I've been in all the buildings. I appreciate the opportunity to communicate with you. I've utilized your email system, which is very helpful. I appreciate the responses that I get. I have one that's out there that I hope to hear from when you check your emails. I also would like to just offer a consideration when we're sharing either as from the public or from the board, that we consider telling everyone where you're getting your information from. I sit at meetings sometimes and hear something and go, that's not quite the way I heard it. So it's helpful if someone shares, this is where this came from. So then as a person, I can make a decision on, does that fit what I've heard? For example, with legislation, it's all online. You can bring up any House bill, anything you want to look at. That's where you read it, and that's where you make your decisions. When you start listening to other places of information where it's not completely accurate, or it's misinformation, or it's slanted to certain groups that get out there, and you see it on websites or on Facebook pages, again, just trying to keep it as close to the source as we can, I think for all of us would be helpful. Last meeting, House Bill 6068 was brought up, somewhat close to my heart, only because I am a retired educator, spent many years teaching sex education. I was under the current bill. I also was under the bill that was before that, so you can tell I'm dating myself. I just want, you to understand that the current bill, it's been 20 years since anyone has brought that bill up. And in my opinion, with reading it and the proposed amendments, it's not going to change everything for districts. Districts will still have decisions about your curriculum. You'll still have decisions for student participation, for public input. You still have to put it out there for the public. You have to have the hearings. And I know one section was mentioned was the advisory council. The way it is worded doesn't say you can't. It just states who has to be, and then you have the expansion opportunity to add anyone that you want to. The language also, so many times it's worded as must have or shall have, but not limited to. So as you're going through that, if it comes up. When I spoke with, Winnie Banks, sorry, her name, who is the current senator, majority leader.
1 minute.
Okay, the bill is still in the committee, so please, if it does come to us, think about that with that. I guess my other thing is just, I'm vested as a grandma, as a retired principal, as a classroom teacher, and also a home and school liaison, that to support you in your policy discussions and decisions on prioritizing instruction, safety, meeting basic needs, personal growth, and the well-being of all students, and that we focus as our district on maintaining our high-quality, inclusive public school system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Kaylee Jansen's. Thank you. All right, that brings us to the end of the meeting. The next meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be an organizational meeting on Monday, January 6th, as Roger mentioned, at 6:30 p.m. at the Grandville Administration Building. The organization will be followed immediately afterwards by the Board of Education workshop meeting at 7 p.m. We are adjourned.